Question number 78 of the IT Passport exam from PhilNITS. We are now in the strategy portion of the exam. In this question, we are being asked, which of the following is a code that stores information in a vertical and horizontal two-dimensional pattern? Let's highlight a few keywords. We're talking about a code that stores information in a vertical and horizontal two-dimensional pattern. About half a year ago, I think, when I was answering this question, I also picked the correct answer, which is letter D. It's a QR code, because if you've also been quite observant, about 20 years ago, in Japan, for example, people have been promulgating QR codes because they can connect the technology with mobile telephones and internet access, and because people could get hold of information much faster. That became an advantage, especially for people who would need to get hold of information that could potentially um, let their business grow much faster. Of course, the idea that a software technology like the one that we have for QR code, where you got a pattern and people could take a photograph, combines other technologies like hardware from the camera of the mobile telephone and of course internet access. And by combining all these things, we can see that the folks at the time were thinking about, if we can get people to have access to information and using that as the goal, then we could also at the same time make money by selling the hardware and the software along with it. So this shows the kind of thinking that people had when they were pushing forward the QR code, particularly in Japan. At the time in the Philippines, when it came back it was in the year 2005, we didn't have much QR codes yet at the time, unlike what we have now. But I think people were also thinking of ways to get people to get hold of more advanced technology, because the idea of having access to information, at least the people who see the value in getting hold of information, they thought too that the more people who have access, the better people will be informed. Of course, many years after, we see that people now could buy smartphones, could have access to the internet, and yet a lot of people still have problems with money. And it seems like getting access to the internet doesn't equate to people having information about how to make money too. So it seems like it's a problem that persists. Okay, so if QR code is correct, I think we also need to say something about the other choices: ASCII code, EAN code, and U and G code for letter B. And let's see my notes to find out what they could mean. ASCII code is American Standard Code for Information Interchange. G code is for Computer Numerical Control. I couldn't really find the meaning of G in this case, but I did find Computer Numerical Code based on Google as our reference, or Sanko. EAN code is the European article number, and then QR code is for quick response. I also want to say something about Google, because at the time, I think much earlier than the year 2004, the year 2005, the people who were coming up with a way to make search much faster, much more useful, they also thought that if a lot of people could have access to this service, which was still at the time also called Google, then more people would have information, would be informed. And they partnered with internet service providers, so that a lot of people who would need access to information could use Google while accessing the internet, and in that way, um, they could find out whatever information they're looking for. So again, having access to information seems to be, especially at the time, something that people find a lot of value of, that um, a lot of people who made money um, use that technique um, to get their wealth. Okay, so access to information. 20 years afterwards, would we still be able to use that same technique to get people to buy our products and services and make a lot of money too? It seems that not quite a few people think otherwise, which means that it seems like it's like we're still promulgating access to information, even though we know that it doesn't necessarily solve the problem of being misinformed. And maybe there are a few guys who are working on something a little bit different, which could solve the problem too of having access to the internet, to information, and also helping them out with choosing which ones are fakes and which ones are true. Okay, so in this question, again, the correct answer is QR code quick response, which an example I have is this one. If you've seen this one already, then you have some idea what a QR code would look like. And if you take a photograph of this using a QR code reader, it will give you a text. So this code here gives you a text that can connect to the internet, for example, to give you more information from a website. Okay,